free TV. Thank you very much. Come on up, Joshua Robertson. Joshua, you got a free TV. Joshua? A long walk. We don't have the TV here anyway, right? What do you got up here for? Now that we officially know where the men's room is. Final honor will be coming up here in a moment or two. But in the meantime, I think Ken Patera has been using my copy. It's in a bunch of bar tabs. Next honor of the evening, we're going to recognize Arn Anderson with the 2016 CAC Thesz Art Abrams Lifetime Achievement. To present the award to Mr. Anderson, please welcome a dear friend of mine, CAC honoree James J. Dillon.
Jim, and a glass of water to Lori.
Good evening.
Thank you.
1985, I was in Charlotte. Dusty Rhodes was the matchmaker, and I was the assistant. We worked together for many years. During that time, Bill Watts called Jimmy Crockett and said, down here in the Gulf Coast, we got a young Anderson. And he's, of course, at that point, the Anderson name was a dynasty in the Mid-Atlantic area. So it didn't take long for Arn Anderson to appear, and Dusty and I both met him for the first time in 1985, and it was the beginning of a 30-year personal friendship with Arn and I. And he proved right from day one that he was everything that Bill Watts had said that he was, and more. And he did it without fancy robes or glitz. He just went in the ring and just solid work. And he would every night basically set the bar for everybody else. And if somebody else had to try and follow him, boy, they had their hands full. He was, I would call him an artiste. He was like a Rob Schamberger book without the palette and the paint and the paintbrush. He just was so talented, actually talented at what he did. And if you gave him a mic, he had his own unique style of interviews, and he usually had a message, and he could deliver it as only he could, and when Arn talked, the people listened. We were at TBS on a Saturday morning, and Arn, in the meantime, had become a world tag team champion with Golden. And somebody sent all the champions out. Flair was the world champion with the gold, and Tully was the national champion, and I was just managing him, and Arn and Ole went out there, and in the course of the interview, Arn stole a page out of history and made some reference to the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, and he threw up this, which became known as the sign of excellence that's followed us around for 30 years. And it was the beginning of an incredible reign. The people remembered the Horsemen, and we were working 7 nights a week, which involved 9 times between TV and matinees on the weekends, and it was 7 nights a week, week in and week out, month in and month out. And Arn's lovely wife Erin can tell you that, I mean, we were on the road, and after months and months and months, when we look at the book of sheets all day off, we thought it must be a mistake. And it was hard. It was difficult on the families being away so much. But it was particularly hard on Arn because Arn's had a bad back as long as I've never known him. But more importantly, he had cervical nerve damage. And he would go out, and it started with a tingle going down his arm, a shoulder, and his bicep and tricep and hand. And he'd go to the chiropractor, and they'd fix it a little bit. They never did make it go away. And then the tingling in the arm turned into numbness. And if there was one man who ever deserved the right to say, hey guys, I'm hurting, I need to take some time off, see a doctor, find out what this is, and get it fixed. And what did Arn say? Arn said nothing. He just continued lacing boots up and going out there because that was his commitment to his profession. Being a horseman really, really meant something to him, and he knew that if the people bought a ticket to see the horseman, they bought a ticket to see all the horsemen, and a lot of them, especially Arn Anderson. And it went on and went on, and finally it became very visible, and I just looked at his hand tonight, and his left hand, the nerve damage had gotten so bad that it was insisted that he go see a specialist. And by the time he went to see a doctor, the doctor looked at him and said, Arn, I can't help you. I can't fix you. It's permanent. It's permanent. And so Arn kept working in spite of it. Now, when you talk about greatness in our business, a lot of great people here. Greatness, I put the world champions over on a pedestal, starting with Lou Thesz to Gene Kaniski to Pat O'Connor to Buddy Rogers to Bruno Sammartino and Nick Bockwinkel and Greg Gagne and Dwayne Terry and Jack Briscoe and Harley Race, Ric Flair. They're in a league on their own. But when you look at everybody else and you try to measure greatness, greatness is not measured by how many regional titles you won. It's not measured by how many five-star matches you had. There's one word that defines greatness in this business, and that is respect. Aretha Franklin wrote a song, R-E-S-P-E-C-T, respect. And Arn continued to work in spite of that damage. And I don't have a crystal ball, so I can't, pinpoint what it is. But the sacrifice that Arn made by continuing to go out there, was it 3 years? I don't know. Was it 5 years? More likely. It could have been 10 years. Arn Anderson sacrificed the longevity of his career by possibly a good 10 years because of his commitment and love to this business and going out there every night and delivering in spite of the injuries which are still apparent today. So when you talk greatness, it's respect. And if you went into our dressing room and asked anybody, does Arn Anderson have respect in here? The answer was hell yeah, he does, of course. And if the guys across the other side of the ring were asked, respect for Arn Anderson, the answer was yes too. He was universally respected in this industry by anyone who ever saw him, worked with him, or met him. That is the true measure of greatness. And I don't have the ability to describe my personal friendship and feelings for this man for 31 years. And I can't find the words to describe the respect that he's held by virtually everybody that's ever met him or had anything to do with him in the business. And that's the reason we're here tonight. We're not here to give him something, because we're not giving him something. We're presenting him with something that he deserves and he earns. So I would like all of you to welcome the recipient of the 2016 Thesz Award. You didn't force her on that.
I ain't top that, but, and I'm not gonna be long. This is Vegas, however, everybody's ready to go get tore up, right? Couple of ironies I got to clear up. Number one, does anybody know, or anybody have the guts, tell me what Terry Funk was doing earlier? I know it. Do what he wants. I looked down the list of the recipients for the Thesz Award. There's some prominent names, incredible, Briscoe, my God, I mean legitimate badasses, including Thesz, obviously. And I have a second irony and a second question. How did Michael Hayes and me get on that list? Moonwalking and getting your ass kicked every night qualifies you for a league? I don't know. But I sure am honored. And I look across this room and I see a lot of people that came before me, and I owe everything. My family, my wife, my sons, we owe everything to you. This business doesn't owe me anything. I'm so privileged to be a part of this and be a part of your lives. I had a young man, and I want him to stand up, and this is a little odd. He came up to me earlier and he said, you know, you're the reason I started wrestling. Where are you? You know where you are. Right there. That's what it's all about. To pursue this awesome business that we're all part of. It's just, my God, you're there. JR, you made a bigger deal out of this left hand on TV every week. You actually made the world believe I could knock somebody on their ass with this hand, and I appreciate that. You have no idea what a beautiful picture you painted. So I just want to say this. Look around, the real heroes and the real people that should be congratulated. And they should all have a plaque. They should all have a stack of money. They should all have a lot of glory. Look at the wives. Look at the children. Look at the cousins. Look at the support group that make all this possible, because they're the ones that patch us up, prop us up, and shoot us out the door to come out and entertain you. And that's what we do after all, is entertain you. My God, man, and Howard, I love you guys. Thank you very much.